Hello everybody, Lucas LeConte back here again. Today we are going to be checking out the Getgood drum pack, which is from Adam Getgood from Periphery, and it's along with Misha and along with Matt. These are his drums, and we've got some new samples that came out not too long ago from Periphery 3 itself. And we're going to be hearing these drums on a Periphery song called Prayer Position. Before we do anything, let's actually take a listen to the drums. I have absolutely no plugins on. So as you can hear, these drums do not come pre-mixed. Yes, they are samples. They are extremely lightly processed from the actual source themselves. Nolly did not want to touch them very much. So let's get into mixing. Before we do that, let me go over how I have my stuff set up. So all the drums, I have them routed to individual buses and I process them on the bus. So for the master bus, I have the Slate virtual tape. FabFilter Saturn is just the default settings, and I have Pro L, which is my limiter, and all of the instruments. Normally what I do is I bus all of the instruments to my instruments bus. So I have Slate's FG Gray, that keeps the snare nice and poppy, and then I have the virtual mix rack. So on the mix rack I have about at 5K, I have about 2.5 dB boost there, and then I have a little one at 113, I have almost a 2 dB boost, and at 12K on this equalizer, I normally try and leave this around the second notch on the knob. It reads as 4 if you get it to highlight. I don't normally like to go past that. Some of the times I'll even make it darker. You have to be very careful with this because it can get too bright. I have a trimmer just to kind of trim the whole session down, or I can push it even more if I want. It's kind of just like a little safety valve there. So that is the instrument bus and the master bus. Now let's move on to, we've got two more things for the drums. I have a drum bus. I have my drum bus, and I have so I have my drum bus. This is the parallel bus right here. I have the FE feet. I have the feet compressor from Softtube. These are my settings. They're based on Nolly's. I set that and I forget that. And then I have, for my reverb, I have Verbiage. These are my settings, which are also based off of Nolly's. And I do have another drum bus. This is the bus that gets sent to the instruments. Just as this, if I want to solo all the drums and hear them all at once, I just hit that. It kind of keeps everything rounded. And I just have the compressor on here. It's literally the default settings. This is just to kind of get a little more glue from all the parts when they're coming together. And that wraps up all of the routing stuff. Now let's actually get to mixing this song. Let's start with the kick. So what I use Hammer DSP for my EQ. Let's get a little playing action going on here. Now the P3 kick, it likes a little boost. I find it needs a little bit of a low end boost. Not very much. If you go too much, you can. Whoops! Let me turn it on. That wasn't doing anything. See, it can get really nasty. But if you cut about right there's a sweet spot for that. I have this at 40. I have this at 1.2, and have this right at 10K. As you can see, it needs very minimal EQ. You can't go too hard on the 1.2K because it'll start to sound nasty. Put a little 10K, get a little bit clickiness in there. Let's move on to the compressor. This is the Klangum compressor. I use it on the Mark III. This compressor is great. You can have your attack, your recovery right here, and you can also mess with the timbre and the drive. You can do. And what I like about this is I normally don't like to compress my sample kicks very much, but this one just does such a great job. It keeps things nice and even. And then the last thing I have is the Slate virtual tape. The tape just makes it awesome. And then I have, actually my sends are off too. I'm gonna have to make sure I turn those on as we go through. that about wraps it up for the kick. The next thing we're going to move into is everyone's favorite drum, the snare.